You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. My guests are seated and they are ready and poised for our topics this morning. But let me welcome them. On the ticket of the NDC is Adele Umar Ibrahim. Good morning, Adele.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just watching Denzel Washington. And
yeah.
It's just heart touching. You know, when you get there, you pick somebody up.
Exactly.
You know, one person keeps one person.
Which is very important. Very important.
Beautiful.
All right, and thank you for being here. And on the ticket of the NPP, we missed him last week. He's back this week. I don't know if he's campaigning, but he's not to campaign yet. And of course, we know that he's hopefully, or he's hoping to go into Parliament. And we are all pushing that this agenda will definitely come to pass. I'm talking about the man, Yao Yeboah. Probably I should start calling him Honorable Yao Yeboah. Good morning, Yao.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're looking sweet.
Thank you.
As always.
I'm good, yeah.
Thank you very much. We have to be 25 years old.
You don't see.
That's very important. Now today we are actually going to be delving into topics, but then one story that has actually come out, and I'll read a little bit about it for people out there to know, is that there are some recent happenings in Gabon. And it looks like the military has taken over the Gabon government. And Gabonese military officers announced on television they have seized powers. Reuters News says so. And Libreville, August 30th, Reuters, a group of senior Gabonese military officers appeared on television channel Gabon 24 in the early hours of Wednesday and said they have taken power after the state election body announced President Ali Bongo had won a third term. So I know that 2 days ago we also heard that they had cut, I think it was internet had been cut in the whole of Gabon, where I actually commented about it. I told people about it, and I was asking if it was another coup loading in another country. It looks like it has happened. So the military says they have seized power in Gabon. So Gabon becomes the latest country in Africa to join the coup d'etat. So we are talking about Niger, which was not too long ago, where they are still in consultation with ECOWAS to see how best they can restore democracy. We know Mali has also gone into a coup d'etat state now. Of course, Burkina Faso, same. And now Gabon. What is happening in Africa? Let's come to Ghana. There are a lot of things happening right here in Ghana. Good news, YEA is to disburse funds to youth in garment and textiles industry effective today. That's August 30th. Not just that, there are other things also where the president is saying that we have to be very careful about tourists with regards to you know, there's so many things. I'll get to in details into that. And also, other news where Alan Chematin's team, Honorable Alan Chematin's team, are saying that they are happy to have made it into the fight because that was their target. They have a little bit of issues here and there with regards to the beating up of one of their agents, where Honorable Alan Chematin actually wrote on his social media page talking about how he's disappointed that the authorities didn't do anything about it and watch these things to happen in the political party. We'll talk about all of that right here. Let me start off with our very first newspaper, which is the Daily Guide newspaper. Daily Guide newspaper reads, Kennedy Kojo Poku storm NPP office. And there was a statement on Monday. The NPP executives, actually their disciplinary committee, invited some 4 persons to their committee to have conversations with them with regards to the happenings that took place on Saturday. That's their super delegates conference. 13 arrested over gunshots at Tamale Court. IGP leaked tape saga. MPs grill COP Mensa tomorrow. Man killed at Galamsey site. And NDC fights EC over limited registration. The ABC newspaper is next. First Lady launches unifying campaign to fight gender inequality. Editorial, special delegates elections, NPP grassroots have spoken. Inquisitor Press BSHS assistant headmaster relieved of post following assault on students. And we condemn this act. Of course, yesterday GES also condemned the act and they relieved this headmaster, housemaster or whatever he is. I mean, I don't know, but The video is sad. I hear she's partially blind in one of the eyes. I'm hoping that with the medical intervention, her sight will be fully restored. Bawumia's November 4th victory inevitable, predicts Bryan Acheampong as he urges our others to pull out. Okay. The Finder newspaper. Integrated maritime strategy launched to safeguard territorial waters from criminals. And this is where the government said that at these territories, we should make sure that we prevent terrorists from entering. YEA begins disbursement of funds to 2,540 beneficiaries today. First Lady launches unifying campaign to promote gender equality and train students to be creators, not just repairers of machines. Education Minister to TVET institutions. I'll do the final newspaper, which is the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Allow Adai Nimo Ejako to contest, says Kwabena Acheampong. To contest, as in to contest on November 4th, or to contest this Saturday, where they have to go to the polls and cast their ballots, or what? Well, President commissions Electrochem salt mine today. Educhum appeals to teachers to support reforms. NDC to sue EC over limited voter registration. Well, like I said earlier, our topics are ready to be discussed. Probably we should talk a little bit about this Gabon issue, and then we can quickly delve into our topics. I know you're surprised to hear that this is happening in Gabon. When I told Adele actually was very surprised. I said, what? Really? But you said you're not surprised, Yao.
I'm not.
Why are you not surprised?
Good morning. Morning to your cherished viewers and then my co-panel Adele. It's been a while. And then I can't be here and not talk about Asaneman so across. It's not possible.
How is it going though?
It's going well.
You have to win, oh.
I will.
Send me the flyers. Let me post for you.
I know, right?
I will flood you with the flyers at appropriate time. Now we have to be technically sound.
Okay.
Be law abiding within the party, because there are people out there looking for people to victimize.
True.
Just like the scripture says, the enemy moves like a wounded lion, seeking who it may devour. So you have to flee from the temptations of that. It's the same thing with the MPP stuff. And looking at things happening within the MPPs, everybody within the party who wants to progress, and you have to do that with caution. And order. If not, you'll be a victim of the system. And I don't want to lie. I don't want to mix words on that. As an Amanso across, so I say good morning to you, the chiefs and the people, the party functionaries. And I've said party functionaries, I say the executives elected, so be from the chairman to the last person, polling station executives. I'm grateful for the support you have shown me over the period. I'm grateful. And I will not disappoint you any day, any time. We'll make sure that we'll elevate the brand of Asaneman across and push it to the doorsteps of investors so that we can liberate our people from the clutches of poverty and mismanagement. And that one you can count to you truly here, your boy. Ali Bongo and his family. I am not surprised because you can't take the people for a ride for a long time. Bob Marley said something that you can fool the people sometime, and you dare not fool them all the people all the time. There come a time where somebody will own up and said enough is enough. And it's been coming. Anytime there's election in Gabon, there's a lot of things will happen. Lives, you will lose lives. You realize the whole country went black. Internet, electricity,
everything went
off.
I think it was Sunday. Yes, Sunday.
And this is not the first time. The Bongo family has taken over for like 50 years. His father died around 2007, if I'm right, and he takes over, and it's like a monarch system for the Bongo family. And in this day and age, you cannot take a country's resources and the people at ransom and think that I owe this country, and then I decide the fate of the whole people. And even in doing so, if you've been putting measures in place that would ensure that the people are taken out of poverty, hardship, and that there has been an economic improvement holistically affecting the corners of Gabon, they will sort of, yes, because if you go to other states, there are monarchical systems that they operate, and they are making sure that livelihoods are affected positively and that nobody complains. But in the case of Gabon, it's not a monarchical system, first of all, and you are taking power for close to a half a century, and then you are not even doing the things that will ensure that the people will be free from poverty. You know, once a person is hungry, an angry person is a hungry person.
Yeah. One
day, a time will come. And I said this not only, you know, last time I was here, I told you that ECOWAS can do nothing. They are not going anywhere. They are just bluffing. Are they there?
Well, they are still in talks.
Please. You see, and I pushed this on AU. I pushed this on the organizational body that manage all these people. I pushed this on them. You can see the difficulties the people of Gabon are going through. Yet, you won't comment. Yet, you won't go there and ensure that the people are free. Gabon is one of the oil-rich economies in Africa. Yet, bad roads. They don't have stable electricity. They if you look at their GDP, as we speak, it's even less than that of Ghana's. This is a small country with abundant oil. But check the wealth of the Bongo families. Yet AU and Co, they are around Africa. Tomorrow, you hear that there's a voice called AU.
Because of the coup.
Because of the coup.
But they didn't do anything.
My question has always been that, are the people of Gabon on the streets demonstrating that they are against the coup? Me, that has always been my argument. It's been my argument for Mali, Burkina, Chad, Guinea.
You know, when it comes to coup, it's quite difficult for the people to go on the street because you're scared for your life anyway.
They are not scared for their life. They actually want the coup to happen. Look, growing up, we're told that coup was bad.
It is bad.
Depending on how it's being carried. Personally, I think if I look at the injustices that some of our leaders, these democratically leaders, has occasioned on the lives of Africa, sometimes, personally, I will call for coup.
I don't know if there's anything like a peaceful coup, but I think bad is bad, wrong is wrong.
What makes it bad? Let's be honest.
I mean, we have all decided to go with democracy.
Which is?
If we speak on the fact that, you know, one person or one family ruling for too long and there's lack of development in those areas and something ought to be done about it by the EU or AU or by, you know, by the ECOWAS. Yes, we say that ECOWAS is not doing the right thing by not intervening on behalf of the people. But I mean, coup, is that the solution? Of course not. Because let's not forget that innocent lives might be lost through these coups.
So I'll take you to Guinea. The last election of the former Guinea president, democratic president, do you know the number of lives that were lost in Guinea? Over 300,000 people died in that election. Democratically elected president. Let me bring you back here in Ghana. The last election that we organized in Ghana, do you know the number of people that died? 39 alone and other places. About 8 or so people died. Let me take you to Nigeria. The last election they conducted, the one they elected Tinubu, it's recorded over 2,000 people died. So if your justification are that lives are going to be lost, then I'm telling them, even under the democratically elected president in Africa, we are losing lives. My point is that it's the narrative that has accompanied coup d'etat.
But we still are a democratic continent.
I want to build a point.
Once we have decided to be a democratic
I want to build
continent.
a point. I want to build a point.
Right.
If democracy is not working, it's South Korea. I can name countries that they don't have democratically elected president and they are doing well. Who gave us democracy? Who said by crook or whatever it is, Africa should practice democracy? Look, Look, let me tell you, life worth not examining is not worth living. This democracy thing that we have put in on ourselves, that every 4 years we go to the pool, spend money and bring leaders, what has been the impact? Let's do analysis of it and see if it's been working, or if it's only helping only a few within our society. Has it been able to impact us positively? For me, I think the narrative that has accompanied coup d'etat has made it look like it's an evil thing. But for me, I also think that if you are elected as a leader and you are not doing what is expected of you, and you are putting the lives of those people that queue to vote for you in harm, you are doing things that do not profit them, why should you be allowed to be there? It's the reason why they put in clauses and laws just to protect themselves and still put the people in advert poverty. For me, I'm not surprised what has happened in, what do you call it, in Gabon. And I mentioned here the last time that, look, we should be careful. If we are not careful, we are going to see more on the continent of Africa.
And it's happening.
And it's happening. Because the only reason is that for 60 years and above that we started democracy, started by Nkrumah from Ghana, getting our independence and bringing Africa to democratically elected president and co. The people have seen the impact of all these people that we have elected. And for them, in their minds, looking at how we have sat down through poor negotiations, we have exposed our resources to people who don't even deserve us, and yet we rather play to their gallery. Then it's better off not have these people. And as a continent, AU, ECOWAS, whatever it is, we need to set up.
Well, let me bring Adele in. Adele.
It was 1979 when the former president, may his soul rest in peace, sat down and looked at the country in general, and the fact that certain people felt that they own the resources in this country more than anybody else. He started a fight. There was an energy that was built, harnessed all the energy he could harness, and felt that we needed to do something different. There was a reason why. You see, I said on this platform the last time that whenever there is no equity, there can't be peace. When there's no equity, there can't be peace. And I indicated that even in crime, when there's no equity, there's no peace. Get two armed robbers to go and commit a crime and agree we're going to share 50-50. If one takes 80 and gives the other 20, there is no peace. Even in crime, even when they know that they stole it. So, I mean, you went to steal something and then your partner stole more from you. It should be normal, right? Because it's not yours for the first place. But there's no peace. So immediately, people realize that you're not being just. Then there's a problem. That was why Kandapar made a profound statement some time back that I'd like to associate myself with. He said, look, when we see the courts making judgments that looks one-sided, you would have people start to think that no, there's bias. And when there's bias, there's no equity. And when there's no equity, there's no peace. What Africa needs to do is to sit back, really look at where we've come from and how we can make the lives of the people better. What are we fighting for? Everything, take Ghana. Everything that we have in this country belongs to me, belongs to Yao, belongs to you, belongs to everybody, your cameraman, everybody, all of us. The students, the wayfarers, the orphans, you know, the widows, all of us. We say when the gold comes out, when the fuel is being sold, you know, when you throw out our bauxite and all of that, we say, keep that one. I have a portion in it. He has a portion in it. All of us cannot go sit in government. We would elect people within our communities to be our representative to take care of that money for us. Keep that one for us. We don't want anything else. give us schools, give us roads, give us hospitals, give us jobs. When you give us the jobs, we would again come and work for you, and then out of whatever money you make, give us a piece of that. Now imagine when you have a country like Ghana with over 30 million people, and then you can sit down and talk about 1.5 million youth not having employment. I mean, it's disappointing. So my argument is this. My argument is that for as long as Africa does not sit and look to helping their people, you're going to have issues like that. Now look at it from this.
In Africa?
In Africa. Look at it from another angle. Say we talk about the fact that coup is unacceptable, no problem. What happened in Mali? The junta. So far, not one life has been lost. Not one. We all agree it is unacceptable.
Maybe it's happened, but we don't know.
Perhaps. But I'm saying so far, I haven't seen in the news yet. We haven't heard yet so far. You say you want to go there and forcefully place in a democratic government. The moment you move in with military, now you're going to kill innocent lives. There is a time when you can actually sit and talk. Sometimes you need to listen to the other side and find out what is the issue. Why did they do the coup? Why is Guinea interested in doing a coup? Why? What's the essence? What happened yesterday? What's the essence? Why would the president be elected in minutes after there's a coup? Why? Because there's no equity. The people are sitting watching. Listen, as we sit here, if we're working together and then we own a company together and we have 50-50 shares in the company, and then I can watch you, perhaps I'm sitting somewhere and watching you because I've given you mandate to be able to sign a loan. And then, every now and then I go and check the account and realize that you keep siphoning. Your wives and children are running. Everybody keeps stuffing it. Nobody's going to sit down and watch. Equity.
Well, again, we can't say that is right.
I didn't say that.
Yes.
I'm saying from both angles. If you see, when there's a problem, you need to understand the problem to be able to solve it. If you understand what they're looking for, then you can solve the problem. What are they saying? What Musi is saying? They are taking our resources for granted. They are carrying their children outside the country. They are carrying our money outside the country. Is that right?
Well, maybe it's deeper than that, and so we are hoping that, of course, we are hoping that there won't be any war in Gabon.
Inshallah.
No lives will be lost in Gabon, and hopefully the leaders, that's the AU, and also that's what's happening in West Africa, the ECOWAS, will also come together and have a conversation. The whole body is AU. The body should come together, have a conversation, and solve problems in Africa. Let's not just look at it, wait till something happens and then we come in. Let's solve it before problems start.
I don't know if you realize that there's a new wave that is blowing across the continent. People think it's a bad thing. From where I said, that may be wrong though. But I think the real liberation is now coming to Africa. There are new interested parties in Africa now. And
the whole Russia thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then there's a new interested, another bargainer in Africa now.
And who is that?
Russia. I'm telling you. Half of France is in darkness today. I don't know if you read it on news, so you saw it on Reuters.
Yeah.
Half of France is in darkness today.
Because they were taking part of their electricity, their oil, their bauxite. Part of their money was from Africa, I must say.
So there's a new breath. We're going to have a new leaders who are now going to negotiate the new Africa in a different spectrum of certain understanding. This new Africa is not afraid of NATO. This new Africa is not afraid of the invasion of the US. This new Africa is going to be the Africa of their own.
And they have the backing of Russia.
I don't want to mention Russia.
But you see, the thing is that it's alleged, though. It's alleged. A country like Niger is alleged that they have the backing of Russia. But the thing here, as we are talking about all these things, if you have the backing of somebody, you ought to be very careful, because the possibility that the person is just giving you water now and will repeat what your forefathers did is high, because we are looking at Russia also looking at the interest. They are not coming to back you with alleged.
When it comes to resources, Russia possesses almost 60% of the whole Europe. Timber, gold, whatever, gas. The argument has been the bluff of certain countries within the Euro bloc. And they have been so disrespectful because of Africa. These countries, France, Germany, UK is not the part, but France, Germany, Italy, and co. They've been so disrespectful to Russia because they know that whatever they want, even if they are not getting from Russia, they're getting it from Africa. And when they come to Africa, because they know we have weak negotiators, they take whatever they want to take with impunity. And now the new bargainers said, okay, no, you know what? I don't need anything from you, but I want you to own yourself. I want you to be able to stand and demand for your own portion of your own resources. Do you know that the France miners in Niger that left destroyed the whole equipment they brought to Niger?
They would.
They destroyed from vehicle, to assembly plant. They destroyed everything, and they left. And they said, "That's fine. You have just said that you don't need us and they don't need you. How on earth would a country on earth, not in Jupiter or any other continent, a country on earth decides that, okay, we have ruled you for 100 years. Now we are leaving you. We want you to come and sign another pact with us that says that 80 to 85% of whatever God has given you, you don't have the right to negotiate with any other country, even those we share borders with. If Burkina Faso, you cannot have any business with Ghana unless France, I am not interested. How on earth? Now this new bargainer said that, you know what I can do for you? I can help you win yourself from these clutches of this oppression. I don't need anything. If I need something, sit with me. I don't want any pact that says that give me anything. All that I want is that you will be sound in your mind when you are taking your own decisions. That I have onion and I want to give to you. And this wind will be only possible when one by one, these countries that we've had tyrants ruling them, they oust them out. And for me, I've been one person, I'm a Pan-Africanist. And I'm saying that until the black man is set free, there won't be any peace on earth.
Wow. I don't know what you think, but you can also send your messages to us, and of course we will definitely read it. I think we have a few of them coming in. I'll quickly read it. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema says fuel price hikes coupled with galloping inflation rate has plunged Ghana into serious economic crisis, and this is a result of incompetence, economic mismanagement, profligate expenditure and fiscal indiscipline. Instead of this government to seek for stringent measures to address this economic doldrums, they are rather focusing on breaking the aid. Worst of it all is the sort of violence that was unleashed by a section of the NPP supporters, leading to serious injuries on some persons. All right, Daniel. Aaron Bebako Kokomisa says, good morning to you. The internal wrangling among political figures are all characters within our political space is not in any way helping build the democracy we all crave to see tomorrow. That is members of the same political party color or within the same political umbrella fighting among each other like old enemies. My point is that let's see each other as brothers and sisters, but not ancient enemies of each other. Fueling an argument within the political environment will not in any way help build the society we want to see tomorrow. But I think we should disagree to agree, but not create enemies for each other. Thank you, Aaron, for sending this message. You can also send in your messages as you're watching. Daniel sent another one. The coups happening within the African countries are largely attributed to poor governance and massive abuse of the rights of citizens, culminating in a lack of trust for democratic governance. African leaders must be made to know that they are elected to serve their citizens and not to abuse and suppress their rights. These coups will continue in the African countries if ECOWAS do not put stringent measures to punish presidents who neglect their citizens while committing all resources to gratify their selfish desires. Let's consider Ghana as a case study. While Ghanaians were lamenting economic hardships and persons were struggling to make ends meet, our president, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, chose to fly with expensive jets. This is undoubtedly a democratic suppression. I do not endorse coups in any form, but African leaders need to sit up. I like that you said you don't endorse it. Now, the president has also spoken yesterday. He said that, of course, they should deal with terrorists who are moving from the Sahel to the Gulf of Guinea. And he said that, of course, these terrorists actually are using complex and advanced technology these days, and so things are not going to be like the olden days where you are there, terrorists attack, now they've moved way ahead, and that's what he said. He said technology has become a vital tool in our quest to sustain and secure our maritime domain. The critical challenge is that perpetrators of maritime crime use sophisticated forms of technology which require a more innovative technology that give a comparative advantage. So we might not even be at advantage when it comes to these terrorists and the kind of measures they use lately. Like I said, they are way ahead in a lot. But the president is saying that maritime security stakeholders must take charge of this domain in order to deny access to terrorists dripping southwards from the Sahel regions towards the Gulf of Guinea. Let me start this with you, Adele.
Rosalind, it comes back to the issues we were discussing earlier, which is the fact that people find the need to intervene when they know there are unhappy parties. This whole conversation we're having about Russia having to now enter Africa, where it used to be the Europe and the Americas. We all watch the news, So rushing into Africa and having to watch the US before the US and the Europes, in Africa, it gets worrying. Why? Because the moment there is an opportunity for someone to understand that there is space for me to be able to achieve something, they would enter. When you have a country that has over 1.5 million youths walking without hope, hopelessness, not sure what to do, struggle. People in the evenings will probably just drink water. I met somebody who shared her story with me that kind of, touched me. This is a lady that moved from Volta region and got to Accra, struggling to make ends meet, ended up somewhere in the slums and had this kiosk. Kiosk, because she was with somebody who was trying to take advantage of her. So she said, well, let me find some kiosk. So she found a kiosk. And for days and weeks, she has to depend on just basically drinking water just to survive.
Wow.
Ghanaian. So imagine somebody sitting back there and looking at 1.5 million youths. The energy that we find within ourselves. We need somebody who can harness all these energies and put it somewhere and then make it thrive. You think that all these terrorists we're worried about, sitting here and discussing, they are coming from somewhere and entering somewhere. You think that if the country is so okay, not perfect, so okay, the average Ghanaian can find something to do. The average young man, if he gets up, even if he doesn't have an official job from government, can easily find something to do. We'll be having this conversation. No. Because there will be no space for anybody to come in. Who are you going to talk to? But with the kind of situation you find yourself in, that is how come they're able to enter one after the other. And they don't come in groups. They don't come with their pickups. It's more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
They come with their laptops. They come through your airports. They move into the neighborhoods. They rent the apartments. They live in, they buy lands. They become a part of you until they have grown their forces. Then now they come in. But why? Because you have given them the opportunity to do that. You can do all the things you want to do online. You can do all the fighting you want to do. I'm saying that until you make your people comfortable. Look, in Ghana.
But when it gets to
yes.
terrorists,
right.
you know, sometimes they even target the most sophisticated countries. Let's look at America, which has been under terrorist attack. We look at the United Kingdom, where there are jobs, you know, they even are recruiting people from Africa now, so they come do the work that they need to do to build the economy again. So the jobs are there. We are not looking at unemployment in these countries, yet they are, you know, a focus for these terrorists.
So I'll give you an example. So when you take the Western world and you look at terrorism in the Western world, there are so many things that comes with it. Bosnia. Bosnia. Some years back, I'll probably have to check the years for you. American soldiers went into Bosnia, took over the country. Women that were pregnant, their stomachs were being cut, babies taken out. You know, some people are not forgiven. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that you do. I always talk about these issues that happens between Palestine and Israel, you know, where one party is holding stones, another party is holding guns, you know, and then my wife is killed, my dad is killed, my auntie is killed, everybody is dead, my house is a mess up. And then I get so frustrated to that point where I feel like, look, I don't see the essence for me to live. And for that matter, if I can find a bomb, I'll put it myself, get in there, and then kill 2 or 3. Like, you need to understand the people to solve the problem. There is no problem. Admitting there's a problem and seeing what the problem is 50% of solving the problem. Because if you don't know that, how do you solve it? Do you know what I'm saying? So yes, you can be discussing all these issues of terrorism. Why are they coming in? They don't just, when terrorists enter your space, they don't just come in because they have entered your space. They come in because they want something. No terrorist organization is sitting down and saying that I want to come into this country and just destabilize it and go and spend my resources and go. No, there's something they're looking for. Some of them will say, "Oh, for us, we are religious liberators." Some will come and say, "No, we want to liberate." Like
what happens in Nigeria?
You understand what I'm saying? Extremists. Some will come and say, "Oh, we want to liberate the people economically," but there's a reason why.
There's an interest.
There's an interest, like it or not. So yes, we can be discussing all these issues on the side. No two ways about it, no problem. But what are our leaders doing for the people? When we have the opportunity to take care of our people, what do we do? What conversation? Like we're sitting here. I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, when this issue of I know it may sound awkward, but when this issue of Madame Cecilia came up, I'm thinking, look, what do you need, like, in this life? What do you need to gather this much? Like, the greed and the lack of the insensitivity, like, it's worrying.
What has that got to do with terrorists?
I'm saying that this is an opportunity for someone sitting somewhere to come to your people and tell your people this is who they are.
So what is the interest of these terrorists, Yao?
It's not a straightforward thing. First of all, these terrorists that President is talking about, that they have gone sophisticated and that they will be difficult to deal with, it's true. Especially on the borders of Africa now, it's going to be difficult to deal with, because now I see France, I see Germany, I see the United States of America and all our former partners.
You're speaking like a prophet now. When we go to church and our prophets, I see this.
Oh,
I see that.
If you've been following the stories of Africa and the tangent Africa want to go now, I see more sophisticated terrorists in Africa now. You know, and I will tell you this because of Africa's experience in Libya. When Muammar Gaddafi, you know, Muammar Gaddafi and co started, they wanted to build African Bank. Where as far as you are an African country and you need a loan from African Bank, you take a 0% loan. The very day he announced that particular part in Africa, that's the very day they plan his death. So anybody or any group of people who begin to think of the liberation of Africa, US and his Western partners will make sure that they will find ways and means to stop it. And President, he seen clearly that the new guys on the block of Africa, which I count myself as one of them, who are not ready to go and sit down and take and swallow everything that the white man will give them. These white people will find ways and means to bring people who will destabilize them. He made mention of something. How on earth will somebody take ammunition and enter into somebody's country? I'm talking about Israel and Palestine.
Israel and Palestine.
And
is in the Bible though?
You see, I don't want to go to that side today. Kill people and say, these are God's people. Mm-hmm. And this one, they are Satan people. So God's people, God that loves everybody, sends his people to go and kill people. But this same God said he came because of those who have not known him. Those who are not God's people is the reason why he came to die. Now, God's people, who their father has come to die for the unsaved, now takes ammunition and go and kill these people. And then NATO will not sanction Israel because they are God's people. Thank you. It's not funny. You see, what has been happening on the borders of Africa? Today, these people have made sure that you cannot cross. Look, who partitioned Africa? Why do you think that you can move freely from New Jersey to New York?
They share it amongst themselves. They share Africa amongst themselves.
But when you come to Africa, practically they make sure that if you're Ghanaian, you cannot have access to Togo. And for 60 years, and Nkrumah saw this, and Nkrumah said, until Africa unite. Let me tell you, they will know. And these people make sure the very moment Nkrumah make that profound statement, so you will not stay. So they are making sure that you have divided you. And in our local parlance, in our language, say that a divided house cannot stand. Together we stand.
Divided we fall.
And these people, they make sure that you black people, and me, I say black people, even if you are in America and you have my skin, you are a black man, you are not united because they don't want you to see progress. So now that you have even devised another means with a new partner, they are going to infiltrate your borders with these people.
With these terrorists.
We can only overcome these people when we unite and taking away every border on the continent of Africa.
So in other words, you're saying that they might use terrorists to come and take over Africa again.
Thank you.
They have. Look.
What is their interest? I'm coming. What's their interest? It's your resource. If they cannot now, if they can't take it through negotiations, like we sit here in the Jubilee oil fields and Ghana has only 5%. Can you imagine? Are you happy? Go to Anglo Gold and find out that the interest of Ghana is zero. And today, you got Ade Kufuado. It's my
Your
own
president. Our president. All of us. Everybody.
To tomorrow morning stand up and say that enough. We want to renegotiate our part with these people. See what will happen. See this American embassy there, where you can't even take a photo. My own country, I cannot stand somewhere and take a photo.
Security reasons, isn't it?
Please. People go to White House and take pictures. This is not Ghana's. I sometimes don't want to go into this because it's barbaric. These people are taking us for granted.
Our leaders inclusive.
All of us, that's us, all of us. So now that I am happy there's a new breath on the borders of Africa, that's what they are going to use. And that's what the president is talking about. The president is saying that they are not sophisticated because he knows that these Americans, these Germans who own this technology are behind these people. Now we are going to fight them. The BRICS is trying to enter Africa. They are negotiating. Already the African countries who have decided, nominated themselves to be part, Algeria, and other countries, about 8 countries openly wants to join them.
So now, what you're saying with regards to these countries that you've mentioned, America, the Germans, and all of it, is alleged, actually, right? We don't know yet.
It's alleged.
So it's alleged.
Yes. They will find means. Look, do we have any organization in Nigeria that manufactures weapons to states like Niger State and Co, where the Boko Haram guys are operating, where there are abundant resources? Go to where they have the oil in abundance, Port Harcourt and Co. That we have these rebel leaders with sophisticated machetes, guns, and all those. Do they manufacture them? Who gets them those? Who gets them those?
An even typical example is 9/11. You know, we went for the war in the whole world. I remember it was I think 2002, 2003. I was in high school and I was watching the news and I saw it, you know, CNN, and I was like, what?
Oh, I think it was 2001,
2002, thereabout. Yeah, it was in the 2000s.
No, it wasn't. But I'll get you the dates.
We'll get the date,
I'll get the year.
So, because I say this because at the time I was in Boche, and you know, that was, you know, high school. So
I think it was 99, 98.
9/11 is not. It was under
under Bush. Under Bush.
Sorry,
Bush took over 2001.
Yeah, it was under Bush. So pretty much.
I think, you know, it was 2001 September 11th.
Don't worry, I'll get you the dates. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So pretty much. And at the time, the whole world, everybody was like, oh yeah, this thing needs to happen. How can, you know, the Al-Qaeda do this? How can Al-Qaeda do this? And, you know, it was so noisy. Everybody bought into it. They go for the war, they kill people, they finish all of that. Questions start coming up. Soldiers who went in there now start coming back and saying, look, what they were told was not what happened over there. A lot of people have been killed, but what do they want? Oil. It's just what it is.
You see, they killed Muammar Gaddafi. Me, I always want to talk about the Africa story.
I mean, some of us went to Libya when Gaddafi was alive, but I'm still 25 years though.
This was a
when Gaddafi was alive. Yes, I went to Libya.
So today, compare the time going to Libya.
There's a lot of difference.
So these people find ways.
Libya was like Dubai back then.
You know,
Libya was like Dubai.
They would want to find any means to destroy Africa until the African person, you and I, decide for our own that, look, we want to be.
But it's alleged that you know, some countries are backing. No, you see how once we don't have the facts yet, we don't know the.
Okay, so maybe we have precedents.
Okay.
I don't have facts.
Right.
Are you discounting the fact that U.S. went to Libya to kill Muammar Gaddafi?
No, I'm not discounting that fact.
Just because they want to siphon their oil.
No, because of the siphoning of the oil, I can say alleged. Because what U.S. said was that Gaddafi had ruled for too long and had become, there was no democracy. They wanted to restore democracy in the country.
So why not U.S. go to Britain? Why not U.S. go to Britain?
Britain has
when Elizabeth, what are you talking
Britain
about?
has a prime minister. But they run the monarchy system.
For this is a monarchy system.
And then they still have the prime minister and you know, their parliament. So they still have it there. And the votes, the UK votes.
Understanding the problem is half the solution of the problem. We need to look. I personally believe that. Take Ghana. Ghana, for example, we love each other. We've seen our mistakes. We've known where we've come from, to a point where we decided that we needed to practice democracy. And over the years, we've done 8 years. You know, it has been like that. And I see the young people today. There was a program the last time I mentioned here where people were, you know, going online and indicating that Ghana Krano, or say you started doing Sanyemeho. You know, like when you start seeing young people talk like that, it's a worry. We need to be moderate. In everything, moderation is key. We need to be moderate. And if you want to solve the African problem, help the people. You see, it is the people that make the government. So you say you are ECOWAS. you want to help the people. The people of Mali are shouting, they are shouting, they are shouting. This man, he has gone first time, he has gone second, he has gone third, he's still going.
Tired.
No. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
But you know, the US actually said that the people of Libya, some of them were complaining that Gaddafi had ruled for too long. And so they had to intervene.
I'm coming, before you come in that intervention, you solve a problem for the problem to actually be solved. You don't solve a problem to make it worse. That was why I said that. As we speak, in Mali, in Niger, you want to go in there. So far, we haven't heard anybody who's been dead. The moment you move in with military, the people say, we're not going to agree.
They can't go there.
I'm just saying. So they shoot, you shoot, innocent people die, have you solved the problem? So why won't you sit with them and say, what do you want? What's the problem? How do we deal with it? You understand what I'm saying? Because obviously there's a reason. Can you imagine what would happen in Ghana? We're sitting here comfortably, okay? Can you imagine what would happen in Ghana if His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo decided one morning that, look, I'm amending the constitution and I can go for 2 extra terms? Do you know what will happen? Don't take these things for granted. We are comfortable and we are calm because we say there is hope. 2024, but imagine if someone is sitting down and thinking, look, there is no end to this struggle. There's no end to this suffering. All I can see is one person carrying and carrying and carrying. We get patient. So when people call on your news, when people call on programs, they go like, Munya 2024, Munya 2028, Munya 2000.
Listen, Adele, the African problem. Our enemies are not Africans.
Oh, they play a role.
Oh,
they play a role. Look, the foreigner cannot come. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Slavery. But for our own people, carrying our own people and willing to negotiate to give them to somebody. The white man can't come to your country and just come and pick it. He comes to you, he says, take those, he comes to those in the authority, says, take mirror. Take a gun.
You know, the last time you were here, Yao, you did mention that Nigeria, Tinubu, actually had a certain backing and he had interest, and that is why, you know, he was saying that they should go. So sometimes the leaders are also
I'm coming on.
part of it, right?
Anytime I make certain statement, I want to build something for you to understand it properly, because I always want to contextualize whatever we discuss here.
Sure.
Now, let me take it from Tinubu. So when France and co misbehaved towards Russia, and they realized that, okay, now Russia has cut off gas pipes, so now we don't have gas coming from. Quickly they realized that, okay, they can have gas from Nigeria to Niger, Mauritius, and then they can enter Europe. So they quickly decided to push those gas pipelines through the northern part of Africa. That's what they wanted to do. Because they cannot come through, they themselves can't come, they will come in a pact and an agreement. Yeah, and that's what they have with Nigeria. So now Nigeria is an interested party with whatever happens in Europe. You understand?
Alleged?
Oh.
No, these are factual.
These are factual. I'm not alleging. Because of the coup in Niger, now you cannot lay your pipes through Niger.
Yeah.
If you have to, then you have to divert, and that will be much more expensive, and that affect the part. Hence, Tinubu's insistence to invade Niger, forgetting that he was going to kill his own African brothers. Who is behind it?
That's why I'm saying that our leaders.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
You can't take them out.
No, I'm coming. They will definitely use. That's why.
Exactly. So why allow yourself to be used?
No. You see, what I'm trying to let you understand that. Let's first of all tackle the problem, the root cause of the problem.
But how do I? Okay, so it's just like somebody's knocking on my door. If I'm using security door and I don't allow the person into my house,
how do they enter?
The person will not enter. If I open the door, then I allow, and there are gatekeepers everywhere. Our gatekeepers are leaders. So how are these Western people able to penetrate? Like, let's use Nkrumah as an example. The Western didn't come and overthrow Nkrumah. No,
they used
the people to overthrow Nkrumah.
In collaboration with the CIA.
And that is what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
At every point in time, there will be a conduit. At every point in time, there will be a conduit.
Certainly.
But the thing is that, if I say we should deal with the problem, I thank God that for a while now, we are having these conversations. What is going to happen is that my child, Kwabna, would grow up with this understanding that the whites or the Western world do not have anything good to offer me. So I dare not dream of having that, the way we grew up thinking that they were our partners. we are solving part of the problem. We're going to have this narrative where the next Ghana president, or in the foreseeable future, the next leader we're going to have is going to say, okay, you go to ECOWAS and say, look, I am not going to be part of ECOWAS because ECOWAS do not have a currency. I'm not going to be part of ECOWAS because ECOWAS has failed to take off all the borders so that we can have free movement of persons within our sub-region. Until we get to that point where Africa becomes Africa for us, where you are an African, you can just take your passport or take your driver's license and move your car and drive from here to South Africa. That's things we talk about. They always find ways and means to infiltrate it because they are particularly petition you and position you so that they will be able to influence you. But when you have the opportunity to move across and there's a free market, there's one currency for the people, let me tell you, getting them to infiltrate that will be very difficult.
Then we need our leaders to set up.
And we need, we have to start the conversation. That is why I am happy. For me, you can say all that you want to say. The fact that somebody is ready to help us to break the back of the camel so that we will be able to stand on our own. Look, I am happy.
Are there no consequences?
Who told you Christianity tried to do because they took it easy? Do you know the number of people the Christians killed?
Anyway, let's continue.
So there
with
will always be consequences.
All right.
Once you take a decision, if you are afraid of the consequences thereof after your decision, then you dare not take it at all.
All right. Let's look at our other conversation, which has to do with a leaked tape. And in this leaked tape, we heard certain voices, and we know that the former Northern Regional Chairman for the NPP, that is Bugri Nabu, has spoken, and he said that was actually his voice in there. He recorded this because he wanted to play it to the president. Now, before he even gave it to the president to listen to it, the tape had been leaked, and he did say this at a committee that had been set up to interrogate and to actually delve into the issue to get to the bottom of it. Now, during this conversation with regards to the recorded tape, they actually spoke about how the IGP is not a part of the NPP, and hence they need to remove him before they get into 2024 elections, because if he's still in power, it will be difficult for the NPP to break the 8. We know that the parliament has also invited COP George Alex Mensah and 2 others who are to appear. Now, also, COP Alex Mensah's voice was also heard in this particular tape. And we don't know what the results of this committee meeting will be, or committee probing will be, but we are highly interested in it and why the removal of the IGP is vital for some people who think that if he's in power or if he's still the IGP, they can't break the 8. Adele, let me start this conversation with you.
Rosalind, first off, I remember when this audio came out, it was a conversation of whether it was authentic or it wasn't. Because you basically cannot do much if we don't authenticate it. There are a few softwares here and there today that I can basically just speak to it, record it, and then once I speak to it and record it, my brother here can take that same and then speak whatever words he wants, and then my voice is placed on that. So it is extremely possible that. Okay, so let's find out if it is true. In law, assuming that for now we say they are collaborators. We have Bugri Nabu, we have COP Alex, and then the other gentleman who is pretty much into it. Assuming that one of them indicated that, you know, it is true that that thing was recorded, but didn't admit that I was the one who recorded it, then the conversation would have been that the others can say it is a lie, we don't know anything about it, it's not true. But in this very case, the fact that Bugri Nabu indicates that I bought the gadgets, I did the recordings, and I did that because I was afraid. The first time it came to me, it actually got me panicking. That was why I recorded it. And when I got it, I sent it to the president because I wanted him to listen to it and then take action towards it. I am not sure why the tape leaked. You see, our half-brothers when I'm dealing with this topic, yesterday, the whole of the night, I was thinking about it because I did a presentation on this issue. And I felt that we needed to look at it from another angle. There are two things involved. One, it is a possibility that all of this conversation we're having as we're having today is orchestrated just so the other political parties will be comfortable with Dampare in that seat. That is one possibility. Have everybody thinking, oh, Dampare is the best person to stay. They want to take him out because they want to steal. So once you have that mindset, then automatically Dampare can stay. And then if there is a plan with Dampare, nobody knows. That is one part of it. The other part of it is what we all believe today. That perhaps it is true. It did happen, and then he actually reported. Because I'm asking again, why would such a recording get to the presidency? Well, we have intelligence. Get to the presidency. And then release from there. Was it, according to him, he said that is the only place he sent it to, unless otherwise he's telling lies. That is why I'm saying that when dealing with them, you have to be very, very careful. They are cunning, you know? So my issue is that for the fact that, let's deal with the thing as it is. For the fact that he admits that, yes, I did the recording, there's no long talk. Anybody else who was in that room, because you know why? He's implicating himself in a certain extent. And he was leading them on. I agree with you. Oh, I didn't know that, Dampare used to be, at Amil's ADC. I didn't know. If I had known, I would have told them. These are people, when you talk to them, they don't listen. When they get up and they want to do stuff, they just rush into doing, and then they later come back and sit down and then regret it. These are some of the things that he said. So he was having the conversation with them. At the point, he said, I can even reach out to the president and make it happen. You know, the man says, look, even if it's not given to me and it's given to somebody else who is sympathetic to the MPP, fair enough, but this man cannot help us in the elections. You know this is treason? This is treason. Western Togoland, the issue that recently happened. You know what is happening, right? They are in court. We shouldn't be dragging our feet on this, and I pray that the minority goes into details to really investigate. Let's not pay attention to everything that we're just hearing. We'll take that into consideration, we'll put it in our head, but when the real investigations is done, we will be able to find out where was the gadgets bought for the recording, when did the document go to another. By all means, there will be a loose end, and then you know the reality of the case as to whether this is really what it is and what we're seeing, or it was orchestrated.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, Bugri Nabu never in his statement said that the recording got to president.
He said by the time.
By the time he himself was sent to the president, it was leaked. So first of all, let's correct that.
Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Now, I would take it as a test, because for now, they are going to face the committee to tell why death. So I would even go into what might be and all that. He sought to. I could also think that, okay, could it be that, Bugu Nabi was a former national MP chairman, and then
for Northern Region.
Perhaps the NDC could also influence all these things. It could also be that our brothers from the other side could also influence, like he sought.
Could influence Bugri Nabu?
Oh yeah. Could, like he sought to do that. Maybe this one is to do something that will make sure they take the attention from the Dampare and all that, and make sure that he stays. Is it also an orchestration from the NDC to make sure that they won't see Dampare and all that?
Is Bugri Nabu highly influenced?
Well, he's a former executive. I'm also a former executive.
So are you influenced? Can I influence you easily?
For me, you cannot influence.
So why should Bugri Nabu easily?
No, you can't.
Yeah, but no. You said that maybe there's some.
The orchestration is there are 3 people involved in this. 2 people works to a former national regional chairman to play with what.
So you're saying that the other 2
so it could be anybody.
Okay.
It could be anybody. And look, if there's a lady in the Bible, her name is Delilah. I don't know if she was able to influence a man, somebody that has the spirit of God. A lady could influence him. You understand that? So now let me deal with the issues.
Women are powerful. We've seen a woman influence a high security person in Ghana, so it's normal, isn't it?
So let me continue.
Straight bullets.
Please.
I don't wear pajamas.
I didn't say anything though. I didn't say anything.
You're adding to it. You're adding to it.
I'm not part of it.
I always go. I say that my life. You know I don't wear pajamas.
Hey, she doesn't do. I beg you, please.
Yeah, I'll make your point.
Anyway, so now, Alex, you are a uniform. Let me say you are a police officer, and you go to see a political activist, a politician, to discuss your boss, to malign your boss, to say things that are not true, and go a step further to ask that he should be removed. So that I don't know if he wanted to be placed there or someone else should be placed there. First of all,
he wanted to, and says if he's not even given, somebody sympathetic to the MPP should be given.
You understand?
So lobbying.
So he was lobbying for himself.
Right.
Under the law, I am not a lawyer. Does that amount to treason? If it is, why this committee? First of all, the committee needs to work and ascertain that the validity of the tape. And then, if admittedly that he said those things, then the law will have to deal with him head on.
But he said he actually has admitted it.
Good. So if he has admitted, then why are we still wasting monies?
Okay, perhaps because we need to investigate further.
Because maybe there are other people involved. Fair enough.
So another question here, or the school of thought is that, Brigri Nabu says, I recorded it, and by the time I got to the president, it was already out. Yes. Could it be that somebody else also
recording? Yeah. It's
so
a possibility.
It's
all
a
of that
possibility.
So we investigate.
So it's a possibility. But the fact that both ends have admitted that there was a meeting like that and that what is on the tape are actually their voices, and they said those things. First of all, if Alex Mensah COP has committed treason, it has to be established. Me, I'm not a lawyer. That's why I don't want to go so much into details about law. I'm not a lawyer. Second, it tells me that within the police, there's not so much unity. It's an evidence. For he's not just any ordinary police officer. He's a commissioner of police. So for a commissioner of police to come out and say all kinds of things we've heard on the tape, it tells me that there is a problem within the administration of police. And therefore, the police, the head of the police unit, who is the IGP, should sit up. And I know that from that time to up to now, he's been doing a lot of changes, moving people here and there. That's the first thing. Second, let's not be said anywhere that the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is not happy with the outcomes or the performance IGP. Of the current IGP. It's not true.
Oh no, but nothing like that was said. I think what was more said was said by these men and not, even Brigri Nabu didn't really say negative things about, the IGP. He was like, oh really? Okay.
I said, let's not be said.
Right. Let it not be said, right.
You understand? So that nobody, either the police service or politicians on the street of Accra and anywhere in Ghana, be thinking in their minds that president is not happy with the performance of the current IGP. President is happy. President is solely behind the current IGP. Because, look, we've seen innovations in policing today in Ghana because of the current IGP. The last time I checked, there's what we call traffic tech, a new technology that they have implemented that, look, when you cross the red light, nobody will chase you. The technology takes your number plate and records it. Anytime you go to pay your, what do you call it, roadworthy, it sums up all the traffic irregularities that is on your number plate, and they charge you to pay. Absolute technology coming from. So this IGP, look at police presence today in Accra. Even in my village, the last time I had discussion with my chief, Acheampong, they are going to build a police station in my village. So this IGP has been doing a tremendous work.
Yeah, can we talk about what was said in the tape?
I'm coming on it.
So what was said in it? I know,
see.
but it's just unfortunately that I don't have so much time.
Fine.
Because what was said in the tape was that he will, if he's there, then the NPP can't break the 8. They didn't speak about the things that he's doing for Ghana.
First of all, the NPP won the election in 2016 without Dankpare. When we were in opposition, we were fighting to win the election. Was he the IGP? When we won the election in 2020, was he the IGP? Under his tenure as an IGP, the only election he's been there as an IGP, we lost.
And so that is why they are saying what they said.
So
now you
no,
get the
I'm coming.
Okay.
What I want you to understand, it is not Dankpare that will ensure the victory for NPP, because he has never contributed to any of our elections. He's never been there for us to win. You are talking as if NPP don't know how to win elections. We have won election from oppositions under
those are not my words.
You know what I'm saying?
Those are the words from the tape.
I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
I'm telling those Alex Mensah and who went to Nabru to spew this nonsense. The MPP as a political party, we've had a track record of winning elections by our own strength. What will make the MPP win elections has nothing to do with policing.
I think what they were trying to say was that, when
it is not true. Whatever they want to, whatever they are thinking about.
I know, but I'm just...
It's not true. Let's not glorify this.
Can I?
You're not glorifying it, but I mean, what they said is what
I expect this committee to do is to do a patriotic work. I don't expect MPP parliamentarians to go and sit on this and be lenient with Alex Mensah and co. I don't expect the NDC parliamentarians to go and sit on this committee and be lenient with Alex Mensah. They have to use this guy as a deterrent.
Okay.
They have to use him as an example. Let me tell you something. Me, I'm a disciplinarian. I don't mix words with certain things, because there are certain things you take actions that will put in the minds of people that you dare not think about it tomorrow, because this is what will happen to you. So they use Alex Mensah as a deterrent. Once he has admitted that...
Should they imprison him?
That one is in the bosom of the law. It's not me that would come and sit here and determine it. That's why I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
But I can encourage members of parliament that we have this recalcitrant within our system. They are not only in the police service, they are in the military service, they are in the immigration service, they are in the forestry commission, they are all over the place.
So let's use them as scapegoats, right?
When Anas had an interview with Kwesi Nyantakyi, and Kwesi Nyantakyi won't lose and said, oh, the president is ABC, then that by this I could do A, whatever it is. Quickly, the law and then the whole football administration decided that this guy for 12 years, he should not come close to anything football. And that has been it. So why can't the same be done to Alex Mensah?
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Adele, quickly, and then we can read our comments.
So the issue of whether we're lawyers or we're not lawyers, I believe that there are issues that are just plain language. We all know what treason basically is. And we know that if you're having a conversation about ousting an IGP because you want somebody in there who would help or manipulate a certain system in order for you to be able to win an election, is treasonable. That is you not allowing the sovereignty of the people to come to bear. This is English language. But again, putting that one aside, let's not also create the impression that the police service or any security services cannot help in rigging an election or cannot help in swaying an election towards a certain angle.
You want to use 2020?
Are we even even enter too much into 2020?
I made an emphatic statement. I'm not creating an impression. I'm not creating. I made an emphatic statement that MPP do not win election with the help of police.
Okay, all right. So now let me come into it. Unfortunately, per this audio, Mr. Alex Mensah, Bugui Nabo, and the other do not believe same. They believe that
on the audio, he never stated the influence of the police helping us to win any election.
No, he said that I'm coming. Bro,
if he had been able to establish,
let me. What he said was this. He said he doesn't trust this IGP. I'm coming.
Wait,
I'm coming. Let me land, please. He doesn't trust this IGP, and he believes that as long as this IGP is there, they cannot break the 8. And that even if it's not given to him and it's given to somebody else who is sympathetic to the MPP, then they can break that 8. But he is not comfortable with him. That's plain language. I'm coming. Let me land. Yeah, I agree with you. Let me land. Now, this is plain language. You understand what I'm saying? If you come to the issues of the recent elections that we had, take Kumeu, take Asen North. We made a deliberate effort, all political parties, and came to an agreement that let not any police officer go to the polling station with a gun. Why? Intimidation. Right? To an extent that we said even the members of parliament who are going to go there cannot carry their guns. The members of parliament who have bodyguards, the bodyguards should not carry their guns. Why? Yeah. Why? Because of intimidation. Now, you must understand that within our constitution, we have indicated again that even police officers who will go to the polling grounds to see and supervise what is going to go on there are not supposed to carry guns, because for somebody, just the sight of seeing a gun is a problem. Then you can discuss the issues of IRS West Wagon. You understand what I'm saying? That the police came in, a reinforcement came, brutalizing people who would come out. So for example, if we're having an election today.
You want to talk about Acheampong too? We don't have the time.
We don't have the time. But I'm just saying, exactly. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, let nobody trivialize the fact that if you have a police officer who intends to have a sided mind, can actually achieve something, perhaps not all of it, but would be able to do something. So let's not take it for granted. That is my argument. The last thing that I want to add to this, which is basic, is the fact that, listen, if today, let's say the MPP succeeds in putting an IGP that belongs to them, and that IGP decides that all the strongholds of NDC, there is going to be fight and beating of people, that is vote suppression. That's not.
But it won't happen.
So I'm just saying, like, when it comes
to damper. So what if in 2024 I'll let you make your point. But what if in 2024 during the elections, IGP Dampari says that you can go ahead and take your guns to the voting ground? What happens then? What if he changes?
So what I'm saying is that all of that is a problem. But at least we've set a precedence.
So you think the 2024 will be like that?
No, we have
where
to.
they can't have
it has to be like that. There should be no intimidation. There should be no beating anybody. And that is why we keep calling on the president.
Okay.
He should exit peacefully. He shouldn't. Look.
So you think that with peaceful.
Let it be peaceful. You think you've done enough? Let it be peaceful. Let everybody go vote, and then the people of Ghana decide. Don't intimidate anybody. Don't bring anybody to come and.
So the guns are intimidation. Okay.
Look, don't do what you wanted Kufuor to do and he didn't do.
Will the NDC say that if Dampari does decide that the guns are allowed on the ground? I'll let you say. If Dampari does, some people say that they don't let you go through.
For the old man's name, I will not sit on your program and mention it for anything. President Kufuor left Ghana peacefully.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying is that when we were going for the second round, there were certain people. There were certain people who said that we should have been, certain state of emergency.
But it didn't happen.
But it didn't happen. That's what I'm saying.
All the time, it's always in the minds of the.
It's not in the minds. It happened.
You quickly round up and let me.
No state of emergency 2024.
2024. There's not going to be any emergencies.
Inshallah.
There's not going to be any.
Inshallah.
2024. As it has been, any election that John Mama will be, there will never be a runoff. There's always going to be a one-touch victory. Okay.
What if IGP allows the men to take their guns to the ground?
I want to get to. He's the most easiest beatable candidate in the history of Ghana.
See how he's fumbling when he's saying it. When he mentions
no election, no president has ever lost elections like John Mama in the history of Ghana under the Fourth Republic.
No precedent.
And even in the history of Ghana.
No precedent.
No
After
president
one term has lost this number of votes.
and still become a president.
Anyway, thank you so much, gentlemen.
No, let me finish with this.
Yeah, my time is gone.
No, listen.
What do you want to say?
First of all,
First of all,
I'm coming to the Alex Mensah.
First of all,
I'm coming to Alex Mensah issue. For instance, anybody that goes to see a political person would want to go and then be throwing your mouth here and there just to be able to
like Nantechi.
So you don't come and sit here and because somebody went to try to convince. The whole idea was to try to convince the politician
so that he can get power,
to get favor, not even power, to get favor.
Right.
He went seeking for favors. So we don't take. That is why he's facing a committee today, right? So let's not even hero him and make space for him. What is done? He himself admittedly said that he said those things, and that he stand by it. I am asking our people who put out there to do a good job, a patriotic job for Ghana, so that his case will be a deterrent. As to whatever it is, we've been in this country when President Akufo-Addo even nominated Dampare, just that his name has a caption of Akufo in it. This, my brothers, were all over the roof saying that he has appointed his brother, only to be found that the man is even from Kwewu. He's not even from Acheampong.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and today, I thank God that they have been able to say that they are unable to point that, oh, Dampare has done ABC, and that they are all saying that what he's done is make sure that there's peace in our electoral process. I am happy with that one.
All we are asking for is a peaceful elections. Let me read some messages coming in and quickly read the messages that have come in. Good morning to you. I'm not surprised about what happened in Gabon. The fact of the matter is that these African leaders are very selfish and greedy. They don't care about the citizens at all. What they care about is to array themselves at the detriment of the suffering masses. My dear sister, the truth of the matter is that we, the citizens, are suffering whilst these greedy leaders are always enjoying with their families. Good morning, madam. The problem with Africa is that African leaders are not ready to solve the problem of the indigenous people, but they are rather interested in solving their family problem. We are going to experience more coup in coming days if African leaders do not change. This is from Haruna Kwewu. Interfu. All right, thank you, Haruna. Good morning and God bless you all for this important topic and a discussion. African leaders are not in position to serve but to make wealth. God have mercy on us. Reverend Nicholas Abedu, AME Zion Church, 2nd D. Thank you so much, Rev. We are very grateful. I can see a newly liberated Africa. We can only survive when Africa becomes united. What is democracy these so-called Western wants to install in Africa? What is democracy when the people are suffering? That partition should be eradicated. Africa will be the richest ever if we are united. I'm not endorsing coup, but it's the only tool we have since our leaders are failing. Harrison Obeng New Botiano. Harrison, we are hoping that there will not be any coup. Good morning once again, Joy Prime. Kindly ask those who are defending the coup plotters that what have the army promised to give to their country that the legitimate president hasn't done. Please don't let us encourage this because nobody will come and share money to its countrymen. They should tell us what the other coup nations have benefited after making the coup in their country. It's about time we preach good to our citizens and encourage ourselves and stop bashing every government that comes to power. Your life lies in your own hands. Nana Aguna Suedu. Thank you so much, Nana, for sending messages. And to all of you who sent in your messages, we are super grateful. My guests have been Adele Umar Ibrahim, who represented the NDC this morning, and Yao Yeboah, who represented the NPP. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here.